Okay, audio, visual. Hello again. How are you? It's been several months since my last confession. Several months since my last video. But I think it's been 4 months. But I don't give up things easily. And I am here at the sea for a reason. I am reading a sea-related poet. Or it's going to be at least one of them to be sea-related. We'll see. I actually have never read this author before in my life, which is true to my way of doing things. Anyway, I got the obligatory A's hat, and Bill's not around. He's ceramic. He doesn't like the sand, doesn't like the air. He hates Philadelphia. No disrespect to Philadelphia fans, but actually, I think he hated Philadelphia before the Philadelphia Eagles existed, so don't think it's a sports thing. Anyway, there's the beach. I'm all gloved up, but it's actually not that cold out or hot. I'm kind of dressed for the winter, and I'm dressed for the summer. If that makes sense. Kind of have heavy coverage up top and light coverage down below. No long johns is what I mean. Anyway, to get this party started, let's see here. I'm at the sea for a reason. I really am. I didn't come all the way over here just to, stand around on an empty beach and record myself, saying things. Okay, I might have done that. Yes, here we are. John Maesfield. Sea change. Oh, and John Maesfield is not Mays like Willie Mays or Bill May, or Bill May was the guy with the beard. I guess you got to be kind of old to think about that, which I am. But that's John Maesfield, like vase. M-A-S-E Field. And the name of this poem is Sea Change, which I've only heard of, but I never actually read it. It's going to be kind of hard with the wind, but needs must. And it's words I've never seen before. Gonies and gullies and all the birds o' the sea. They ain't no birds, not really, said Billy the Dane. Not molies nor gullies nor goonies at all, said he, but simply the spirits of mariners living again. That doesn't rhyme at all, does it? Them birds are going fishing is nothing but the souls of the drowned. Souls of the drowned and the kid are never no more. And that the haughty old albatross cruising around be like he's Admiral Nelson or Admiral Noah. And marries the life they are leaving. They settle and dip, they fishes, they never stands watches, they waggle their wings. When a ship comes by, they fly to look at the ship. To see how the nowadays mariners manages things. When freezing aloft in a snorter, I tell you I wish, though maybe it ain't like a Christian. I wish I could be a haughty old copper-bound albatross dipping for fish, and coming the proud over all over the birds o'er the sea. Sea Change by John Maesfield. Now, pardon the accent, but when I saw a weird word, I kind of panicked and figured I would read this in some sort of a kind of a Gaelic dialect, even though I don't think the guy's Irish or anything. He could be Irish. I hope not. I don't know, it's just something I hope for. Anyway, I'm going to read that in a normal voice when I'm kind of away from the thundering ocean clapping. And when I'm sure I'm outside of the range of that car over there. Or is that a truck? Oh, it's something. And yes, I walk the beach with a bicycle in my hands. And these little paw prints aren't necessarily dogs or cats. They can be foxes, or fox, whatever the plural for that is. Anyway, there's the dunes. The sea. Why do I feel like I should be drunk reading this stuff? So maybe I can understand it better, but I don't drink, so that's my hard luck. Okay, I'm going to read it normal, since I read it through once. But it's a strange word, all right? Goonies and goalies. Don't ask me to understand what a Goonies is. I have no internet out here. Goonies and goalies and all o'er the birds of the sea. I'm going to try that again. Goonies and goalies and all o'er the birds of the sea. They ain't no birds, not really, said Billy the Dane. Not molies, nor goalies, nor goonies at all, said he, but simply the spirits of mariners living again. Them birds gone fishing is nothing but the souls of the drowned. Souls of the drowned and the kicked as are never no more. And that their haughty old albatross cruising around be like he's Admiral Nelson or Admiral Noah, and marries the life they are living. They settle and dip, they fishes, they never stands, watches, they waggle their wings when the ship comes by, they fly to look at the ship to see how the nowadays mariners manages things. When freezing aloft in a snorter, I tell you I wish, though maybe it ain't like a Christian. I wish I could be a haughty old copper-bound albatross dipping for fish and coming the proud over all the birds of the sea. That was Sea Change by John Maesfield. This one, a bit easier. Sea Fever. As a bird looks at me, thinking I'm going to drop dead and he can eat my eyeballs. It's not happening, pal. I'm very fit. I have a bad diet, but I'm very fit. Lots of cheese, carbohydrates. I'm not fat. I could be fat. Oh, you can see my shadow. Do I look fat to you? Look at that. Say hi. See, that's me. Here's the poems. There's my hat. There's this thing holding the camera up. So, hi. Anyway. Sea Fever by John Maesfield, as a seagull just sits there waiting for a clam. I must down to the seas again, to the lonely sea and the sky. Oh, that is so relevant. There's two people out here, and I'm not even one of them. There's my bike tracks. I'll tell you one thing, it's a secret. Now, this beach, like all beaches, when it gets very cold, the sand freezes. The sand freezes very, very, solidly, freezes. And because it's sand, it's not slippery like ice. And I'm riding along and I'm, singing a song, and I come to the beach and I'm, carrying the bike onto the beach like that. And then when I get down to near the edge there, the shoreline, they would say, as they say, at low tide, the seawaters solidify the sand, and then I would bike up and down the sand. Of course, there's nobody around, but it's got to be safer than having a vehicle on the beach. And no one ever complained. It's just something to do. And I only fell down about 3 times, so I don't recommend doing that unless you got good insurance. And some people do, but I don't. So be careful. Sea Fever by John Maesfield. I'm not going to say that was a fever that caused that. That was more of an action of boredom. And a lot of bad things happen in the name of boredom. Boredom can be toxic, can be dangerous, and it can also be a lot of fun. I recommend it in moderation, like all things. I must down to the seas again, to the lonely sea and the sky, and all I ask is a tall ship and a star to steer her by, and the wheels kick and the wind's song, and the white sails shaking, and a gray mist on the sea's face, and a gray dawn breaking. I must go down to the seas again, for the call of the running tide is a wild call and a clear call that may not be denied. And all I ask is a windy day with the white clouds flying, and the flung spray, and the blown spume, and the seagulls crying. I must go down to the seas again, to the vagrant gypsy life, to the gull's way and the whale's way, where the winds with like a whetted knife. And all I ask is a merry yarn from a laughing fellow rover, and quiet sleep and a sweet dream when long trick's over. That was a good one. I'm going to read that again because I kind of stumbled a bit. There's no reason to stumble, I just do it sometimes. My lips feel nice and, moist. It's not cold, so I don't really have to have like a dry mouth doing this. I don't feel like all chapped out or anything. Chapped out, that's a good adjective, isn't it? It makes sense if you understand it. I don't think it's a real word, but people are making up words every day of the week nowadays, so I don't know. And for every word they make up, another word, falls by the wayside. It's like a name. You don't see too many, guys walking around with the name Eldridge, or Norris for first names. They have like strange first names that are left by the wayside. It's like language. Language is constantly moving. Well, I don't know if you can see those birds, but it's a nice sight. It fits the last poem with the sea change with the birds flying and that guy with the weird accent that I was channeling by accident. They're looking for fish. And I wish them a lot of luck because the dredgers came through here. And dredgers tend to dredge. And when they dredge, they are, pushing sand up onto the beach. And that kind of upsets the fishing game quite a bit. Well, to each their own, I mean, they were paid to do it. You got to keep the beach, there. Otherwise, the beach would be back there where the houses are, and the ocean would be in the street. Sea Fever by John Maesfield. I must down to the seas again, to the lonely sea in the sky, and all I ask is a tall ship and a star to steer her by. And the wheels kick. I'm going to say that again because I'm stuttering. Yum, 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 yum. Okay. I must down to the seas again, to the lonely sea in the sky, and all I ask is a tall ship and a star to steer her by. And the wheels kick, and the wind's song, and the white sails shaking, and a gray mist on the sea's face, and a gray dawn breaking. I must go down to the seas again, for the call of the running tide is a wild call and a clear call that may not be denied. And all I ask is a windy day with the white clouds flying, and the flung spray and the blown spume, and the seagulls crying. I must go down to the seas again, to the vagrant gypsy life, to the gull's way and the whale's way, where the winds like a whetted knife. And all I ask is a merry yarn from a laughing fellow rover, and a quiet sleep and a sweet dream when the long trick's over. Out there in the distance. Okay. I actually just came here to read 2 poems. Oh well. I'll just read some more then, because I have them here. And why not? Laugh and Be Merry by John Maesfield. And judging from the birds, I don't even think they want to hear this one. Sorry, it's not sea related. I don't think so, because I never read it before. Maybe this is the origin of that. Laugh and be merry, for tomorrow we die. What if tomorrow never comes? You could just go on like these clouds. These clouds don't last forever, but the ocean does. And I can't remember where I heard it, but it's a thought that just stays with me. Think of all the crap that's happened in your life. Think of all the great things that happened in your life. You could have gotten married, you could have had kids, they had kids, and you get sick, you get better, you get sick again, you get better again. This ocean has seen that repeated billions and billions of times by now. And it just doesn't care, does it? It just keeps doing the same thing it's been doing forever. And it's going to keep doing what it's doing forever. So whatever you feel like doing, or whatever you think is wrong with your life, or whatever is what it is, that there, it just doesn't care. It's going to be a stable force throughout, well, until the sun turns into a red giant, anyway. So with that happy thought, Laugh and Be Merry by John Maesfield. Laugh and be merry, remember, better the world with a song. Better the world with a blow in the teeth of a wrong. Laugh, for the time is brief, a thread the length of a span. Laugh and Laugh and be proud to belong to the old proud pageant of man. Oh, I'm reading this one again. Oof. Laugh and be merry, remember in olden time. God made heaven and earth for joy he took in a rhyme. Made them and filled them full with strong red wine, his mirth the splendid joy of the stars, the joy of the earth. So we must laugh and drink for the deep blue cup of the sky. Join the jubilant song. Oh, I'm starting to spittle. Join the jubilant song of the great stars sweeping by, laugh and battle and work. Oh, this is driving me nuts. Maybe I should read it like I'm drunk. Laugh and be merry, remember, better the world with a song. Better the world with a blow in the teeth of a wrong. Laugh, for the time is brief, and a thread the length of a span. Laugh and be proud to belong to the proud pageant of man. Laugh and be merry, remember in olden time, God made heaven and earth for joy he took in a rhyme. Made them and filled them full with the strong red wine of his mirth, the splendid joy of the stars, the joy of the earth. So we must laugh and drink for the deep blue cup of the sky. Join the jubilant song of the great stars sweeping by. Laugh and battle and work and drink of the wine outpoured in the dear green earth, the sign of the joy of the Lord. Laugh and be merry together, his brothers akin, gusting a while in the rooms of a beautiful inn. Glad till the dancing stops and the lilt of the music ends. Laugh till the game is played, and be merry, and be you merry, my friends. Okay, be happy then. Get merry, everybody. Who's merry? I don't know. I'm going to try to read that one more time, and I'm not going to read it like a drunken jerk, because I don't drink, and I don't know how a drunken jerk acts or behaves. I just kind of make a stereotypical approximation. I try to remember the last drunken jerk I kind of had a personal encounter with, and I don't remember them really saying much besides crying. I mean, those things happen. Laugh and be merry. And this didn't have the line in it that I thought it would have. Laugh and be merry, for tomorrow we die. I don't know the origin of that. Again, I don't have internet access out here. But I'll look it up eventually. And I won't tell you about it. Laugh and Be Merry by John Maesfield. Laugh and be merry, remember. Better the world with a song. Better the world with a blow in the teeth of a wrong. Laugh, for the time is brief, a thread the length of a span. Laugh and be proud to belong to the old proud pageant of man. Laugh and be merry, remember in olden time, God made heaven and earth for joy he took in a rhyme. Made them and filled them full with a strong red wine of his mirth, the splendid joy of the stars, the joy of the earth. So we must laugh and drink for the deep blue cup of the sky. Join the jubilant song of the great stars sweeping by. Laugh and battle and work and drink of the wine outpoured in the dear green earth, the sign of the joy of the Lord. Laugh and be merry together, like brothers akin, guesting a while in the rooms of a beautiful inn. Glad till the dancing stops and the lilt of the music ends. Laugh till the game is played, and be you merry, my friends. Well, the ocean was not impressed. But I like reading John Maesfield. It's better than reading, oh my lordy. It's been so long since I did one of these videos. It's been 4 months. 4 months is a while. I mean, 4 months is like the life of several gnats. GNATSs. I mean, that's a lot of gnats. I have an excuse for not doing them. I don't know. I can't really call it the life excuse because I already used that before. A form of laziness, I guess. No, it's not really a laziness. It's a. I would call it a just being out of the habit of some things, and some things were kind of pushed me out of the habit. To be honest, it's not really my fault. I mean, air conditioner broke. One of those, little, spring-loaded toilet paper dispensers. It kind of like popped out of my hand, and it kind of went into the toilet bowl while I was flushing. I don't really. It was like a fever dream. I can't believe it really happened, but it did. But anyway, if that thing gets stuck up in there, you need to replace the toilet bowl because underneath the toilet, it kind of curves up before going down. It's like a sick joke. I don't understand that. I mean, can it just be, something that just goes straight down? Or is it just something that they do to, kind of keep the pooper and the poop from smelling each other too much? Who's to say poop likes the smell of people? I'm not going to get an answer for that. Does poop like the smell of people? Yeah, no one's going to tell me. Sonnet by John Maesfield. Flesh. I have knocked as... Oh boy, that's a weird one. Flesh. I have knocked as many... really gotta... I'm going to read it just straight through. I'm going to read it straight through as best as I can. Flesh, I have knocked at many a dusty door, gone down full many at midnight lane, probed in old ways and felt along the floor, pressed in blind hope the lighted window pane, but useless all, though sometimes when the moon was full in heaven and the sea was full, along my body's alley came a tune played in the tavern by the beautiful. Then for an instant I have felt a point to find a seas, whosever she be, whether she am saint, so whose glory doth anoint, whose... Oh, why am I speaking with an accent again? Those whom she loves, or put a part of me, or something that the things not understood. Make for their uses. I'm going to remember why I didn't do this for the last 4 months. Make for their uses out of flesh and blood. Okay, John, I used to like you. Sonnet by John Maesfield. Flesh, I have knocked at many a dusty door, gone down full many a midnight lane, probed in old walls and felt along the floor, pressed in blind hope the lighted window pane, but useless all, though sometimes when the moon was full in heaven and the sea was full, along my body's alleys came a tune, played in the tavern by the beautiful. Then for an instant I have felt at point to find and seize her, whosever she be, whether some saint whose glory doth anoint those whom she loves, or but a part of me, or something that the things not understood make for their uses out of flesh and blood. So he was looking for flesh. Well, not all poems kind of make sense to me. Maybe some more than others. He was the best way I can interpret that one was, it's Saturday night. He's in a dark room and he's kind of looking around for flesh. And he hears music from a tavern, and then he imagines there's, flesh there. And then he kind of like stumbles to the ice box and eats a chicken leg. It's a form of flesh, isn't it? Oh no! This is. Oh no 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 no! It's way too late for me to read that. It's 29 pages. Oh, I'm not reading that one now. I can't read 29 pages out here. I don't think I got enough battery life. This is the last one. Then I am rid of John Maesfield and this beach for a while because it's getting actually pretty chilly. And I take it for granted that the mic works. But I think this one's beach related. I mean sea related. And there's a boat out there. Hey boat, hello. They're fishing. See, packed out there. They're kind of out of the area where the dredgers were. So they weren't really dredging back there. But the theory is they did so much dredging that there's pockets of water underneath where there's going to be a bunch of fish. And who knows what else. That's the theory. I mean, I'm not a fisherman. I mean, it's a nice view of clouds. I should be a fisherman instead of riding the bicycle on the beach. I mean, at least I can eat the fish. Mother Carey has told me by the bassoon. Mother Carey has told me by the bassoon. No, not the bosun. Bosun. Okay. I am able to read. I learned how to read many years ago. Alright, we'll try again. Alright. Mother Carey, as told by the bosun, apostrophe, son, by John Maesfield. Mother Carey, she's the mother of the witches, and all of them sort of rips. She's a fine gel to look at, but the hitch is, she's a sight too fond of ships. She lives upon an iceberg to the nor'ard. Near man, he's Davy Jones, and she combs the weeds upon her ford. With poor drowned sailors' bones, she's the mother of the wrecks, and the mother of all big winds as blows. She's up to some deviltry. Oh, I love that word. Oh, I'm going to name my first son Deviltry. She's up to some deviltry or other. When it storms or sleets or snows, the noise of the winds her screaming. Arter, a plum, young fine, brass-buttoned, beefy, ribbed, young seaman, SEAM, apostrophe N. No one ever heard of that one in the last 100 years. So as me and my mate can dine, she's a hungry old rippin' a cruel. For sailor men like me, she gives a many mariners the gruel, and a long sleep under sea. She's the blood o' many a crew upon her, and the bones of many a wreck, and she's barnacles a growin', or this is Mother Nature. Why do they call her Mother Carey? That's Mother Nature. Mother Nature can be a beast. And she commands the ocean too, you know. Mother Carey, my foot. Mother Carey just makes me think of Mariah Carey. What does Mariah Carey have to do with this? She didn't even exist back when John Maesfield was alive. I can't let modern pop culture influence my reading of this. I'm not going to let it. I'm going to go right back into this. She's a hungry old rippin' the cruel. For sailor men like we, she give a many mariners the gruel and a long sleep under sea. I want to make a point that and is not being used here. It literally just has the big letter N in the poem. N. When I say N, a long sleep under sea. N. That is not and, it's N. N. and her man, he's Davy Jones, and she combs the weeds upon her fort. See, that's what that is. That is not and, A-N-D, or and that, A with the big circle around it. Although I think it substitutes it. It just looks more interesting on the page to have it, just be an N. But I digress for the last time, I think. She's a hungry old rip and a cruel. For sailor men like we, she gives a many mariners the gruel and a long sleep under sea. She's the blood of many accrue upon her, and the bones of many a wreck, and she's barnacles are growing on her, and her shark's teeth round her neck. I ain't never had no schooling, nor read no books like you, but I knows 'tain't healthy to be foolin' with that there gristly, too. Well, I'm starting to cough like the guy who's writing this, I guess. Here we go. You're young, you thinks, and you're Larry. L-A-I-R-Y. Not Larry. 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 You guys say it from the back of your throat and the top of your mouth. Larry. The tongue is the trick. But if you're to make old bones, steer clear, I say, oh, Mother O'Carey. Mother Carey, not O'Carey. She's not Irish. And that there, Davy Jones. And Davy Jones is Davy Jones' locker. That's when you're deep six, you're at the bottom of the ocean, like the Titanic and stuff, and that submarine. I hope mentioning that isn't too soon. I'm sorry for their loss. I hope mentioning the Titanic isn't too soon because, that was only 100 years ago or so. Let's face it, a lot of ships went down during the wars since then. Come on. I guess you kind of expect it in a war, but still. My heart goes out to the 3 chaplains. Look them up. Mother Carey has told me by the bosun. I'm going to say it right. By John Maesfield. Mother Carey. Mother Carey? Question mark. Mother Carey? She's the mother o' the witches, and all them sort of rips. She's a fine gel to look at, but the hitch is, she's a sight too fond of ships. She lives upon an iceberg to the nor'ard, and her man, he's Davy Jones, and she combs the weeds upon her ford, with poor drowned sailors' bones. She's a mother of the wrecks, and the mother of all big winds as blows. She's up to some deviltry or other, when it storms or sleets or snows. The nose of the winds her screamin', arter a plum, young and fine, brass-buttoned, beefy-ribbed, young seaman, so as me and my mate can dine. She's a hungry old rippin' a cruel, for sailor men like we. She gives a many mariners the gruel, and long sleep under sea. She's the blood of many accrue upon her, and the bones of many erect. And she's barnacles a growin' on her, and shark's teeth round her neck. I ain't never had no schoolin', nor read no books like you, but I knows 'tain't healthy to be foolin' with that there grizzly too. You're young, you thinks, and you're Larry, but if you're to make old bones, steer clear, I say, oh, Mother Carey, and that there Davy Jones. Arr, arr, arr. See, I'm starting to get a scratchy throat because I'm actually getting an allergy attack out here. You wouldn't expect it out here. But I actually get spring allergies, and not spring, excuse me. I get spring allergies too, but I usually get the autumn allergies, and this is autumn, okay? Autumn. Fall. Anyway, the sun is now firmly behind me. There I am again. I am got my bicycle here. I am a very fit man. It's not an e-bike. Now you can't see me. It's not an e-bike. It is it's a keep fit push bike. You gotta keep fit. And I'm going to not read Dauber, because Dauber is a very, very long poem, and I'm not even sure I have enough battery to keep this going. But I like coming here. And I came here to read John Maesfield, and so I have. And I might read not sea-related stuff in the future. Then again, I might not. So who knows? Anyway, cheerio.